Because of Winn Dixie, Chapter 25, by Kate DiCamillo, read by Stacy Kingery. We heard the music before we even got to Gloria Dump's house. We heard it from almost a block away. It was a guitar playing and singing and clapping. I wonder what's going on, my father asked. We walked up to Gloria's sidewalk and around back through her yard and into her kitchen. And what we saw was Otis playing his guitar and Miss Franny and Gloria sitting there smiling and singing and Gloria holding Sweetie Pie in her lap. Amanda and Dunlap and Stevie were all sitting on the kitchen floor, clapping along and having the best possible time. Even Amanda was smiling. I couldn't believe they were so happy when Winn Dixie was missing. We didn't find him, I shouted. The music stopped and Gloria Dump looked at me and said, "Child, we know you didn't find him. You didn't find him because he was right here all along." She took her cane and poked at something under her chair. "Come on out of there," she said. There was a snuffle and a sigh. "He's asleep," she said. "He's plumb wore out." She poked around with her cane and Winn Dixie stood up from underneath the chair and yawned. "Winn Dixie!" I hollered. "Dog!" squawked Gertrude. Winn Dixie wagged his tail and showed me all of his teeth and sneezed. I went pushing past everybody. I dropped to the floor and wrapped my arms around him. "Where have you been?" I asked him. He yawned again. "How did you find him?" I asked. "Now there's a story," said Miss Franny. "Gloria, why don't you tell it?" "Well," said Gloria Dump, "we all were just sitting around and waiting for you two. And after I convinced these Dewberry boys that I ain't no scary witch, all full of spells and potions." "She ain't no witch," Stevie said. He shook his bald head, and he looked kind of disappointed. "Nah," said Dunlap, "she ain't. If she was, she would have turned us into toads by now." He grinned. "I could have told you that she wasn't a witch. Witches don't exist," said Amanda. "They are just myths." "All right now," said Gloria. "What happened was we got through all them witchy things, and then Franny said, 'Why don't we have a little music while we wait for you two to get back?' So Otis started playing his guitar, and woo-wee! There ain't a song that he don't know. And if he don't know it, he can pick it up right quick if you hum it to him. He has a gift." Gloria stopped and smiled over at Otis, and he smiled back. He looked all lit up from the inside. "Tell what happened," Sweetie Pie said. "Tell about the dog." "So," said Gloria, "Franny and me, we started thinking about all these songs that we knew from when we was girls. When we got Otis to play them, and we started singing them, teaching the words to these children, and then somebody sneezed," Sweetie Pie shouted. "That's right," said Gloria. "Somebody sneezed, and it was none of us, so we looked around wondering who did, thinking that maybe we got a burglar in the house. We looked around and we didn't see nothing, so we started into singing again. And sure enough, there was another ah-choo! Sounded like it was coming from my bedroom. So I sent Otis in there. I said, 'Otis, you go in there and see who's sneezing.' So Otis went, and do you know what he found?" I shook my head. "Winn Dixie!" shouted Sweetie Pie. "That dog of yours was all hid under my bed, sneezed under there like it was about the world was about to end. But he was smiling like a fool every time he heard Otis play the guitar, smiling so hard he sneezed." My daddy laughed. "It's true," Miss Franny said. "It's the truth," said Stevie. Dunlap nodded and smiled right at me. "So," Gloria Dump said, "Otis played his guitar right to that dog, and in a little bit of time Winn Dixie came out creeping from underneath the bed." "He was covered in dust," said Amanda. "He looked like a ghost," said Dunlap. "Yeah," said Sweetie Pie, "just like a ghost." "Mm-hmm," said Gloria. "Looked like a ghost. Anyway, the storm stopped after a while, and your dog settled in under my chair and fell asleep. And that's where he's been ever since, just waiting on you to come back and find him." "Winn Dixie," I said. I hugged him so tight he sneezed. "We were out there whistling and calling for you, and you were right here all along. Thank you," I said to everybody. "Well," said Gloria Dunlap, "we didn't do nothing. We just sat here, waited, and sang songs. We all got to be good friends. Now, the punch ain't nothing, but the water and the egg salad sandwiches got tore up by the rain." You got to eat them with a spoon if you want an egg salad. But we got pickles to eat and litmus lozenges, and we got a party going on. My daddy pulled out a kitchen chair and sat down. Otis, he said, do you know any hymns? I know some, said Otis. You hum it, said Miss Franny, nodded her head, and he can play it. So my daddy started humming something, and Otis started picking it out on his guitar, and Winn Dixie wagged his tail and lay back down underneath Gloria's chair. I looked around the room at all the different faces, and I felt my heart swell up inside me with pure happiness. I'll be back in a minute, I said. But they were all singing now and laughing, and Winn Dixie was snoring so hard so that no one heard but me.